Good morning. This is call number 2021-83598 in the interest of Rosalia Parada. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Ms. Parada. Ms.
Yes.
Parada, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I swear.
All right, ma'am. Please state your name and your relationship to the child.
My name is Jamie Parada, and I'm her mother.
All right. And sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
George Lozano, father.
And representing Mr. Lozano, please identify yourself.
Trailer for the non-custodial parent.
All right. Representing the state of Texas Attorney General's office.
Andrea Perard.
We have a petition to establish parent-child relationship. Ms. Perard, we're having a hearing. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Do we have any stipulations?
We do, Your Honor.
Please read them into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the parties are in agreement that they will be joint managing conservators, with the mother maintaining the geographic restriction to Harris and contiguous counties. Due to the age of the child, there will be a phase-in periods of possession of 14 phases each for each of the 4 standard phases. Once those 4 phases are completed, then a standard possession order will go into effect. Current child support will be set at $692 beginning August 1st of 2022. And the father will maintain health insurance for the child through his employer. There is positive DNA in the case. And so the issue before the court, Your Honor, is the retroactive support, specifically when that retroactive should begin and how many months should be calculated.
All right. Let's
Your Honor, if I
proceed.
may add to that,
All right.
with respect to the conservatorship, I believe the parties have also stipulated and agreed to that the mother will have the exclusive rights enumerated under 153, 132.
That your agreement so far, Ms. Perard?
Yes, Your Honor, we don't have any objections to that.
Is Ms. Parada, so far, is this your agreement?
Yes,
All right, and so the issue then will be retroactive the date beginning retroactive child support. Is that correct, Ms. Perard?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
That is correct.
Ms. Parada?
yes,
Okay, so there's no question that when figuring the child support is going to be at the rate of $692 a month, Ms. Perard?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, let's proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would call Miss Parada. Ma'am, the child in this case was born on September 19th of 2021. Is that correct?
yes.
Is there any way that you can speak louder into the phone? I'm having a very hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry, is this better?
A little bit. Now, you are requesting retroactive support from the date of birth up until now. Is that right?
Yes,
And so that would be a total of 11 months at $692 for a gross retro of $7,612. Is that your understanding?
Can't hear you, Ms. Parada.
yes. That's
Thank
correct.
you.
Now, you've indicated that Mr. Lozano did give you $1,400 directly. And so you are willing to give him credit for that $1,400. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So if you give him credit off of the $7,612, that would leave a retroactive judgment in the amount of $6,212. Is that what you are requesting the court to order?
Yes,
Now, in regards to the birth of the child and the facts around it, were you and Mr. Lozano in a relationship at the time the child was conceived?
We never specified that we were in a relationship, but we were seeing each other.
So you were dating, y'all had communication with each other before and after the birth?
Yes.
Now, when you became pregnant, did you inform Mr. Lozano that he could be the father of the child?
Yes, I told him as soon as I found out.
And how did you do that? In person, via phone?
Via phone.
And throughout your pregnancy, did you keep him informed as to the status of your pregnancy?
Yes.
When the child was born, did you inform him that you were in labor going to the hospital?
I didn't tell him when I was in labor, but as soon as she was born, I sent him a picture.
So he was not at the hospital for the birth of the child, is that right?
No, he wasn't.
But as far as soon as she was born, you informed him that she was born in that and sent him a picture, correct?
Yes.
And after the birth of the child, did you try and reach out to Mr. Lozano to facilitate a relationship between him and the child?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
I would message him.
And did he respond?
No, a lot of the times he didn't.
And then this case was referred, excuse me, to the OAG, and we attempted a CSRP back in December of 2021, but Mr. Lozano failed to appear. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And in fact, you participated in DNA testing on December 6th of 2021 when we attempted that CSRP.
Yes.
But it wasn't until we had to file this judicially and get him served that he participated in the court process, correct?
That's correct.
So it's your request and belief that he had knowledge that he was the child's father and could have been participating in the life of the child and provide support since the date of birth. Is that right?
Yes.
And because of that, you're asking for the retroactive support from the date of birth until now. Is that your request?
Yes.
I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Trailer?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Parada, you characterize yourself as being in a relationship with my client, Mr. Lozano, correct?
We were seeing each other.
So you were seeing each other. When you were seeing each other, you knew that Mr. Lozano was married, correct?
Yes.
You knew that he had a child, correct?
Yes.
You knew that you guys were not in a relationship, correct?
Yes.
In fact, in terms of seeing each other, you only saw each other a couple of times.
Yeah, about more than 2 times.
And so you said you messaged Mr. Lozano. You don't have Mr. Lozano's phone number, correct?
I have it now.
So at the time, well, you have it now. So you just received it today?
No, not today.
I'm sorry, when?
Sorry?
When did you receive Mr. Lozano's, when did you get Mr. Lozano's phone number?
I got his phone number the last time we did the meeting.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I can't understand you. You have a mask on?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, you're gonna need to speak up. It's not very
Okay.
clear. When did you get Mr. Lozano's telephone number?
I got his number the last time we had a meeting.
That doesn't tell me when. When? When was the last time you had a meeting?
I'm sorry, I can't remember the last court meeting that we had.
Okay.
So it was during this litigation that you got his number, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And Mr. Lozano did give you $1,400, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would ask the court to take judicial notice of the DNA test report that was filed on 6/13 of 2022.
All right. Court will take notice of that DNA test report.
Ma'am, in that DNA test report, that confirms that Mr. Lozano is in fact father, correct?
Yes.
And that was filed in June of this year.
Yes.
And you and Mr. Lozano were not exclusively in a relationship seeing each other during that time period, correct?
During June of this year?
Well, from June of this year up until when you were pregnant.
We were not in an exclusive relationship, no.
Pass witness, Judge.
Gerard?
I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Call your next witness.
State would call Mr. Lozano. Sir, you are requesting that retroactive support be calculated at the following when the DNA test results came back. Is that your request?
Yes, ma'am.
So essentially, you're asking for only it to be calculated for the month of June and July at $692 per month. Is that your request?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that would come up to be a total of $1,384. And since everyone is in agreement that you did provide her $1,400 in support, that you're essentially asking for no retroactive support to be assessed due to that direct payment of $1,400. Is that your request?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. Now, in regards to the relationship with Miss Parada, you were not at the hospital when the child was born, correct?
No, ma'am.
And when do you remember Miss Parada informing you of the child that she was pregnant?
I think it was probably January of 21.
And clearly you had a, sexual relationship with her, correct?
Yes.
So at any point when you were intimate with her, you could infer that there's the possibility that she could get pregnant, correct?
Right. Yes.
And what did you do when she informed you that you were that she was pregnant? What was your response to that?
I guess surprise, and then she said she understood, I guess my situation or position, and asked if I wanted her to get an abortion, which I said yes.
Okay, and she did not go through with that, clearly.
Right.
Did she keep you informed as the status of her pregnancy throughout the pendency of her pregnancy? Did y'all speak after that?
It was not often. Everything was on Snapchat. I didn't have her number. She didn't have my number. So it was when I would check the messages, it wasn't, weeks would go by. It was not very often.
So y'all didn't continue the relationship after you were informed that she was pregnant?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
And when the child was, do you remember when you were informed of the birth of the child?
I don't. It must have been around the time the child was born, but I don't remember exactly when.
Do you remember if she tried to initiate any kind of relationship with you and the child?
No, she just stated the child was born. She still again stated that she knew my situation, and that was about it.
And when you found out about the birth of the child, did you try and initiate any kind of relationship with the child?
No, ma'am.
And is that because of the situation that you were married at the time that y'all had this
Yes.
relationship?
Right.
And so it wasn't until we started the judicial process that you began initiating any kind of communication with the mother. Is that right?
Even now, I don't have her number, and like she said before our last Zoom meeting, she didn't have mine either. So
I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Trailer?
Thank you, Judge. George, how often did, well, I guess, how would you characterize your relationship with Ms. Broader?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
My
the question.
apologies, Judge. I'll slow down. George, how would you characterize, or how would you characterize your relationship with Ms. Broader?
just basically as hooking up.
Okay. And how many times did you and her meet up?
Maybe 5, if that.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge if well, I guess when did you learn? Well, the DNA test was on in June of this year. So was that the first time that you were positive that the child was yours?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of the relationship, of course, it was possible that the child was yours, but did you know at the time or have reason to believe that the child was yours at that time period?
No. To be positive, no.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Ms. Perard?
Nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Trailer, do you have any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show my age here. Snapchat. How does that work? Ms. Perard, do you know?
I do, Your Honor. It's an app where essentially you can communicate. It's not through a phone number. It's through a ID like Andrea 1214. And those Snapchats disappear after pretty quickly. And so it doesn't keep a long lasting list such as a text messages would to be able to pull that back.
You have to have that app, and you have to have somebody's pass number or whatever.
User ID. So it'll
ID,
say,
okay.
yes. So you might be Judge David Longoria 1225. And as long as you know that, then you can match with that person and communicate through them.
Okay. So, Miss Arada, when you said you texted the father at birth, you didn't have his phone number, correct?
I didn't say text. I said I messaged him. So I messaged him on Snapchat.
You messaged him. All right.
Yes.
I thought you said text.
No, sir.
All right. And so, Mr. Lozano, you got that message, right?
I'm sorry.
You got the message that she had given birth. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Any final argument, Mr. Trailer?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Perard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court finds and awards of retroactive child support judgment in the amount of $6,212 to be paid at the rate of $75 a month, beginning August 1st, 2022. All other stipulations are approved.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe